it still doesn't make. You're still not making sense. Like it doesn't. I understand what you're trying to say, but it still doesn't. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in your narrative. So
the point is, you don't have free will. You feel that you have free will. You believe you have free will, but you don't.
Okay, and you believe that we don't. So
nobody has free will. What is the source of free will?
Basically, Vishal, you are
trying to prove it. You're saying that because they cannot be prime minister, it means free will.
I think Vishal has.
Hold on. We want to understand this. 1 second, Andrew. This was basically what your like proposition here.
Yes, my proposition is whatever you think, whatever you feel is product of your circumstances, your privilege, everything. It's sum total of all the factors that go into making you feel that way.
About him,
it's not what you want to feel. It's always what you feel by.
I'm not talking about feeling.
As a result of your circumstances.
It's not about feeling. It's about free will is about doing or saying whatever you want. Free will is not about feeling whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean. Feeling has an element to what you want to say as well.
No, I mean, if he wants to go and run for office, he can. So I'm not sure.
Run for office, but the point is, so you know what? A person who is, say, for example, born in difficult circumstances, he won't have the privilege to even think of running for office. To get
that happens all the time in history, man.
Why not?
There's people who come from nothing and they end up becoming multi-millionaires, billionaires, predominant politicians, bro. It's bullshit what you're saying.
Oh my god.
No, oh my god, what? There's no oh my god. It's bullshit what you're saying.
It's just not true.
So you feel people who are poor want to be poor?
No,
obviously not.
Oh my god, it's all about free will.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't think I understand what free will means.
If that's their decision to be poor, that's their decision. But some people don't want to be poor. They want better for their life. So they'll do better for themselves. By getting a job, getting an education, whatever it is, getting the opportunity to not be poor, they will take it.
Yeah, not just feeling rich. That will not do.
Yeah, so Vishal, you're right. Even there's another person on Amir, she's even disagreeing with what you're saying, and she brought up some good points in the chat. So it's what you're saying just doesn't make sense, so. And by the way, there's kids that do grow up to say they want to be terrorists. There's plenty of evidence to show that. There's plenty of videos to show that. It's called brainwashing, and that's how it starts when they grow up to want to be shaheeds. And like Daniel was saying, they put these named martyrs. They're putting it as a hero image, right? And as a kid, right? Kids love this shit. When you love in America, we love superheroes, and we love our SpongeBobs and stuff like this here. But over there, they like the Mickey Mouse that wants to teach you how to kill Jews. So much different. So everything you're saying is really just, you live in another world, bro. I don't know. Or you're just trolling really hard.
You misunderstood me. I'm saying, you wanting to be a prime minister or you wanting to be something is result of your circumstances. That's what I'm saying.
You were saying that's free will earlier. So now you're changing it up?
So that's your will. So your will is not decided by your intrinsic factors. It has influence from extrinsic factors as well. That's my point. Isn't it?
I was saying that already before all this stuff came up. I was saying that in the very beginning.
Yeah, so that means the locus of where free will originates is not inside you. It might be outside you as well. That's the point. So free will isn't in your control. You don't have a free will.
Of course it's in your control. It's always in your control.
Everyone has free will.
Exactly.
It's an innate thing saying it's not the ability to have every earthly power, every earthly, super job. It's your innate gift from God to make your own choices for your soul, for eternity, and your own choices with what you come across in life. It doesn't mean if you're not born rich, that doesn't mean you don't have free will.
Exactly. Thank you.
So the problem with that is, Autumn, there is an assumption that you have unlimited choices.
No, there is no assumption and no.
Okay, so if you limit the choices, then your free will is gone. That's the point.
No, your free will is not gone just because you're not born rich or something. You still
I'm
have a
saying
choice.
your free will is gone if your choices are limited.
If you're not being born rich and not having every superpower on the earth, that doesn't mean your free will is limited. You just don't understand what free will actually is. It's not being able to do everything under the sun, and it's not being able to infringe upon the rights of others. It is what God created in Genesis 1 through 3. If you want to know what free will, go to those chapters and read them. That is what free will is, where it came from. If those chapters aren't enough, read the founding documents of the founding fathers, because they spoke about it a lot.
Which chapter did God say to kill innocent Palestinians?
Oh my God, this guy is so stupid.
No one but you is saying to do that.
He's just trolling. He's just trolling at this point.
Right after the chapter where it calls for an Al-Aqsa flood to go and kill Jews, right after that chapter comes the chapter where they find out after they fuck around.
What, Alexa chapter? Is there a chapter called Alexa? Did you say Alexa?
Yeah, right before the massacre of the terrorists.
So there's a surah, if you want, where the Quran actually says.
Where is my Hindustani friend Andrew?
Guys, are you listening to me?
Oh, you're not very audible, Phoenix. You'll have to.
It's kind of hard to hear you.
Can you hear me now? Is there a
Oh
problem?
yeah, it's better.
So what I'm saying is, go to Surah 929 and read me from Surah 929.
No, he's not even Muslim. He's a Hindu that hates Israel, bro. He doesn't know shit about Islam, this guy. He doesn't know shit about anything that we're talking about.
And your mic is
You
still
said you were. You said you were,
Bro,
bro.
I was born Hindu. I'm not a Hindu.
So again,
Oh, so what are you now?
So you did you know that Judaism is an ethno-religion? It means that if you are born Jewish, you are usually still Jewish. You don't convert out of Judaism usually. Hinduism is a fake ethno-religion where most Hindus cannot even spell the Bhagavad Gita. Can you know the first line of the Rig Veda? This is like our Torah. He does not know the Torah. This is our concept of the Torah. He doesn't know it.
God, how do you know the thing that you just said?
Because he's Hindu, idiot. My God, holy shit! How do you don't understand?
God.
Americans can be Hindu too, bro. Like I don't like. There's Indians that live here in America.
Harry, he said that he's pro-Islam. I just want to show him the Quranic verse where it says that you're supposed to fight those who do not believe in Allah. Like it says it quite clearly.
Oh, that's a misinterpretation, by the way.
Oh,
No, it isn't.
Oh,
It's what it teaches.
first of all, you're talking to someone who's actually going to Islamic University. I speak Arabic, it's my native language. I can go to Islamic jurisprudence, I can go to Hadith, I can go to Nasir. I know everything that you think that I don't know. I've studied stuff so I can become an Islamic judge, and I left it while I was in the university when I found out all this barbaric shit.
Wait, are you an ex-Muslim?
I am an ex-Muslim, yes.
Oh. Then you
So
might
if you want to know about Islam,
He knows more about Islam than anybody on this fucking app, bro. He'll school you to any degree, bro. Like, he's
you know,
No, but
You don't
Phoenix,
know
you
what
tell me
that
that
is.
you give them wrong interpretations.
who is they? Enemies? My enemies will always tell you things that you should listen to because they're always going to be my enemies because they don't want. They're Muslims. What do you
But
what
then,
do you
but
think?
then tell me, why don't all Muslims who call themselves Muslims believe in this theology? Whatever you're saying.
It
That's
is not
Put
all.
it this way.
Sorry.
Put it this way. For the first 1,400 years, meaning not until the 1970s, okay, nobody interpreted in any other way than when it comes to Surah 929, it's an offensive jihad, means that you're going out of your way to actually conquer other people's land in order to bring them to Islam. There is not a single source out there that says otherwise, including the verse that talks about banging little girls, which is in 65 verse 4 of the Quran. Nobody disputed this for the fact that you're supposed to bang little girls. You're not supposed to bang little girls for 1,400 years. This is what we call in scholarly consensus. It's called ijma in Arabic. It means that nobody disputed this. Nobody went around trying to actually tap dance around the whole fact that slavery is allowed in the Quran as well. Nobody was tapping around doing it during this time. This was considered ijma, which means consensus. So they used to practice this stuff and nobody questioned it. It was until when this Western liberal ideologies that came, that, giving people rights and stuff, they started to go around to, it doesn't mean, banging lips, it means, you just tickle them with a feather or something like that, and all that sort of stuff came way afterwards, right? So I can go through you bit by bit, through every single Islamic source, to show you all the nastiness that is. And by the way, I haven't even gone to 98 verse 6, which called Jews and Christians the worst of creatures. It means worse than dogs, worse than animals, worse than every single animal alive. So I can go through that too. And I can show how my prophet was one of the most biggest anti-Semites on planet Earth. Really, I can do that. If you want, we can go there. You want to start from jihad? We can start from there. Do you know anything about jihad? What is the 3 stages of jihad? Do you know them?
No, I don't know that. But tell me something. Are you trained in academics, or are you trained in academic way of looking at things?
Academics. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
So no, Vishal, you're trying to deflect from his point. You're trying to say everyone knows that jihad means holy war. You are acting as if you don't know that holy war means jihad because you're trying to deflect, because you're trying to talk about Arabic ijtihad. Ijtihad is some complex academic concept, but
No, it's not. It's not that complex. Ijtihad means basically to actually use your own mind. It's the lowest form of methodology. It means after that everybody else says their ideas and there is no idea in this regard, and the person who's actually, let's say, an imam that has an ijazah, which means a permission to actually give some sort of fatwa, or he's supposed to be a alim, a scholar, that he can give his own interpretation for the matter because no other scholar actually has an interpretation. It's the lowest form of interpretation to give, because for the matter of fact, every other scholar with every single topic, you have people talking about it, and it goes all the way to back to Prophet Muhammad, right? That's why you have the hadiths, that's why you have the tafsir. You can trace them back to the earliest people who were during the time of Muhammad, and that's why they say this is the best interpretation, this is the most authentic way of finding out. Ijtihad is when you actually don't have anybody talking about it, but you are knowledgeable enough and you have the permission to basically interpret it yourself, because you have the permission to do so. You're a scholar and you have the title of a scholar, and therefore you can go ahead. That's what it is.
Phoenix, do you know Torah as well?
I think you just taught him everything about Islam, bro, in one paragraph.
No, I'm not a Torah expert, and I don't pretend to be. But Islam is my area of expertise. I can tell you everything about Islam. I can even tell you that you practice some really weird stuff right here, and I can show you the hadith as well, like really nasty stuff. Like you would say, how the hell does anybody actually go around saying this guy's a prophet?
Crazy, bro.
It appears that you're an Islamophobe.
Oh, here it goes.
No such thing.
By the way, I tell Muslims all the time, I'm a proud Islamophobe. I'm a proud Islamophobe. Not a problem there, buddy. Not a problem there. Anybody who knows Islam fully, they would be an Islamophobe if they had any conscience.
Nobody's gonna marry you, Phoenix. You're gonna die single.
Phoenix, tell them about the necrophilia hadith. I think this is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my
You
life.
think that's a crazy
Oh
one?
my God! Stop!
You think that's
I
crazy?
honestly, I didn't believe you when you said it. I had to go look it up
You
myself.
think that was you think that was
Yeah,
crazy?
Ellie, I brought you up, and this is what you. Yeah, that's right. It's so insane.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. Hold on. Okay, I'll keep it a little bit PC, and I'll work my way up if you guys want me to continue. Okay, here's a hadith that I think it gives a whole new meaning to finger licking good.
Ew.
Okay, I'm sure you heard the words finger licking good, you know? Finger licking good. So
What is that, KFC's motto or something?
Yeah. Or whatever. So here's a hadith.
That's McDonald's.
That's McDonald's. Okay, my bad.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. That's McDonald's.
Alright, so here is Sahih Bukhari 5456. Just so I can show you that I'm not making this up, I'm gonna put this link on the side chat so y'all can read it. Actually, it'll be better off if you guys read it. I want to see your reaction when you do it. Grace, would you kindly read this hadith? I just posted on the side chat. Did Grace say? Okay, Autumn. Maybe Autumn or Jay.
Phoenix, tell me something. I'm more interested in knowing your history.
What? You want me to do the sunnah? The sunnah? What do you do?
Yeah, I just put a link on the side chat for the hadith. Can you please read that out loud?
The prophet said, when you eat, do not wipe your hands till you have licked it or had it licked by somebody else.
Oh, interesting. So,
Ooh, it sounds lovely.
To lick and to suck fingers, chapter 52.
Jay, I'm glad as a cantor I didn't have to read
What is the
that.
context? The reading is without the
basically-
context.
The context is after you use the bathroom, make sure that someone licks your hand.
So he said, do not wipe your hands. So basically, you're not supposed to wash your hand. You have to have it licked. You gotta lick your fingers when you got some, little bit of itty bitty food bits, and then lick by somebody else.
How did we get here?
So do you want to lick my fingers? That's the question. Deshaun, would you like to lick my fingers? Because I had to lick Imam's fingers just so they could teach me this hadith when I was back in Islamic school, and it was really, really nasty. It was like peer pressure.
Oh my
Like, it was
God, you
nasty.
had to lick your imam's fingers?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
have to
Oh, you
suck them
probably
or
He's
lick
just
them?
lying. He's just making up
No.
stuff.
His mom probably enjoyed it.
And the phoenix has rised.
It's
Is this why you left Islam?
his favorite part of the
One
day.
of the reasons, it was pretty freaking humiliating.
Like, what was
that
the final turnoff
What
after
if he touched
licking
you
your
inside
imam's
his
fingers?
butthole and then he gave you
Same,
a
I
finger?
know.
The turnoffs were far more serious than what I'm actually showing to you right now.
Can you tell us?
Of course, the turnoff has to be.
Wait, let me talk to you. Go ahead.
Well, the biggest turnoff for me was when I remember the first time when I got turned off was when I actually was in a courtroom. Because I was studying to be an Islamic judge. I was behind a judge, and there was a father-in-law and the son-in-law who took him to court. And the reason why he took him to court is because the father-in-law had 8 daughters, okay? And her youngest daughter was about 3 years old, right? And her youngest daughter was 3 years old. And
Stop
and
interrupting.
the way that it works in Islamic world, if you have a lot of daughters, you're going to be making what they call mehab, which is the dowry money, right? So you're going to be making a lot of money, right? And the earlier, the younger they are, the more expensive it is, right? And so this merchant guy, who was a textile merchant, he kind of forced him into marrying his daughter so he could get that money. And in other words, farmers have a lot of debts to pay in those areas, especially when you come from a poor family. So they keep churning their wives and having a lot of children because of that. And what happens is that this guy, this son-in-law, says, I don't know if I'm going to marry a 3-year-old daughter. They said, why? Why don't you? It's halal. It's according to Islam, and that's true. we can marry a 3-year-old daughter and consummate it. And he said, but I don't know if I could fit it in. I want to have sex on my wedding night. And by this time, he already has 3 wives. This is going to be her 4th wife, okay? So his 4th wife. And he says, don't worry, if she dies from your penetration on your wedding night, then we will write it on the marriage contract that if she dies, I'll give your money back. And I'll ensure that I fatten her up, because Aisha was actually fattened up by Kitover engaged before sending to Muhammad so she can take the penetration, according to the Sunnah, right? So that's exactly what happened. So once got married and consummated the marriage, she died. She died on his wedding night.
The 3-year-old?
Yes. And I thought they were coming over here, and I thought they were coming here because he was about to go to jail. Like, no, that wasn't the reason. He's not actually being tried for killing a little girl. He was being tried. The father-in-law was being tried for actually not paying back the money. That's the reason why he was in court. And I asked the judge, and I said to him, nobody's going to ask a question as to why this little girl has been killed. Like, she's been flattened. I saw the coroner report. Her ribs were literally flattened. Okay? And it says there's no reason to, because they've already signed a contract. They already knew what they were getting themselves into. That's Sunnah right there.
That is so
And I
fucking
didn't.
The tragedy is that in Bishal, you were taught this as a child and you don't even know anymore. You're the actual Palestinian in this room because you're brain dead from the Hindu perspective. If you did not learn this at age 2 or 3, in the Hindu world, you're brain dead.
And here's another thing. I get out of my dorm that day. For 3 days, I was shivering after what I saw. Okay? So, and
was this in the United States?
No, this was not in the United States. So the thing is that...
What country?
I'm not going to say what country. Are you trying to dox me?
No, I just want to know what country. I'm not going to dox you.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what country.
He doesn't want to get killed. I got you. Go ahead.
I was doxed here before because someone actually recognized my voice and they called my employer. So I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
And so that's
By your country,
this
bro?
story.
That's crazy. I don't know that you can get known by your employer by your country.
No, his voice.
Well, no, it's my voice.
What does that have to do with what country you're from? I don't understand.
Because I mentioned what country, and there's
It's
only
very hard to
in
fake a
each
voice.
country in the Middle East.
Voice involves voice skins. Voice skins are not cheap. Good voice skins involve accent training. Like, I can do
No one's trying to dox him. I have nothing against this guy. Like, I don't
No,
know.
his English is perfect. It's usually a problem when you have perfect English that you have to do a voice skin, because I can put on a redneck accent. I can put on I can put on posh British accent. I can put on, Joe Biden's aspirational accent where he's basically brain dead, and then Donald Trump's way of speaking is really boring. But Netanyahu, I have to tell you, is the only form of English that is civilized in the modern world. I'm Israel.
No, the thing is that because of he recognized my voice, but I wasn't sure until I said which country I went to university in. Then he put 2 and 2 together. It's like, yeah, that's that guy.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
no, I wasn't trying to do that. I just was curious to where this happened.
Where it goes on. The 3-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, I feel like I've seen this in some Middle Eastern movies, but not that young. Like, I thought their age was 6, and 6 is disgusting. But
And
3?
No. Yeah. According to Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, which is basically the guy who did the grading system, and hadith, that says sahih, da'if and all that, weak hadith or strong hadith, that guy says you can marry a grown man can marry a little girl even if she's in the cradle, like she's like 1 day old basically. So it's allowed for you to marry even a 1 day old if you want to.
But basically, I would say Vishal is so brain that he does not even know that today is Shabbat, that is Friday, and it is Friday.
Today is Jum'ah, right?
No, it is Shabbat Shalom in the East Coast. Shabbat. Shabbat is actually Sabbath, a Saturday. I'm actually confused myself about it. I don't try to ask too much, but Friday, Saturday, it is an important day in the Jewish calendar.
So Phoenix,
Really?
so
Oh,
now
is
you
it?
left and you came to America and is that like, go ahead. Or you just took that
I was born and raised. I was born and raised here. I was born and raised here.
Phoenix, do you know Musab Hassan Youssef? Do you know him?
The Green Prince, yes.
Good. Yeah. So you know about him.
I went to university not far from here where he actually gave a talk to a far leftist guy. And so yeah, and I went to that university and I got a ticket to see it. I don't know if you guys saw the video on when he was in UCLA, and he was sitting down with an actual hostage and a far leftist leader, and was trying to convince him that he has no idea what the hell he's talking about, and the fact that he thinks that reading the history of LSF, and he's the guy who actually lived it, and doesn't realize what he's talking about is sheer utter nonsense. And the guy's sitting right next to him. He's like, they're right. The books write about him, about what happened, and the information that is gotten about the narrative is from him. Yet they don't realize that. Like he's sitting right there, in terms of who. I mean, literally, Hamas started in his bedroom, next to his bedroom. He was sitting down with his father. He saw it. He saw when the forming of Hamas happened. So,
Hamas was formed in a bedroom?
in his bedroom.
No,
He said
Vishal,
it's
I don't know why you're turning this into something that you don't understand. You are Hamas in this case. We are trying to get you to see reason, but you're making yourself more Hamas. You are what is called a Hamasaki. Hamasaki in English means that you are like a kamikaze Hamasi person. Hamasaki means that you're so brain dead that you even know the difference Arabic and Japanese. You don't understand watashi wa eigo no sensei janai desu and ijtihad. So you are a Hamasaki.
Are you the TikTok guy who goes around asking people to speak in their language and then you try to communicate with them in their language, Andrew?
Why would he tell you?
Okay, Phoenix, I have an observation to make. As far as I know, disdain for a particular cult is always born out of personal experience rather than mere observation. So, did you have any personal experience? I mean, did you have any lived bad experience in Islamic culture?
I just told you what the bad experience was.
Oh, this was your observation. I mean, did you suffer personally?
No, he was home for 3 days not suffering, right? Did you hear a word he said? And I'm sure there's a lot of other things, because he said there was a lot of other things, right, that happened. He just told us one of the most disgusting things on the planet.
Bishop, where are you from, buddy?
I think Islam is the most disgusting religion in this whole planet.
So Phoenix, I just have 2 more questions for you. So, after you came to America, you ended up leaving the religion altogether? Like, were you done?
Not before I punched my dad in the face, no.
So you don't talk to your parents anymore?
No, I do now.
No.
But it was, I did,
Not before he claimed his advisor.
Quiet, Vishal, I'm not talking to you. Go ahead.
I was born and raised here, dude. If you were paying attention, my father is Middle Eastern, my mom is American.
No, I wasn't here for that part, sorry.
Yeah. No. I'm not an asylum seeker or whatnot. Why do you sound like I'm an asylum seeker?
Not at all. I was just wondering how you're, like, are you an atheist now? Did you choose another religion? Are you over religion? Like,
I'm looking at other religions. In fact, one of that made me a very staunch Israeli supporter. I took a challenge from one of the Israeli youth organizations and then one of the universities while I was studying. Because he says, there are people who actually pay people to actually go and, like Israeli delegates pay other people to actually go and visit Israel because of a lot of anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli stuff. Like, really? Yeah. Full pay? It's like, yeah, they do that all the time. There are organizations who do that. It's like, well, free trip for me. If you can get me, then sure. And I thought I was kidding, like literally, I was just kidding. I thought he would never do it, but he came back and says, yeah, we're ready for you if you want. And if you go there, you can just sign up and we'll get you your first ticket in 2 weeks' time, where we're having a group tour and free accommodation for 2 weeks. And we'll take you everywhere. And I was surprised, and I took it, of course, at first. I didn't think about it in any way, shape, or form. I was just going to go to the sites that, well, my parents couldn't go in terms of Al-Aqsa and all that sort of stuff. But when the tours that they took, I started to understand Israel. And the first thing, as soon as I actually arrived in the airport, I thought because I've been at these universities, they tell you apartheid, right? And I'm thinking, okay, they're going to have a place where you have a place for like Jews to drink water from, and then everybody else, like the goyim, and all that sort of stuff, right? So I had no idea. As soon as I was there, I'm like, shit. I was greeted by an Arab Israeli. It's like, what do you mean Arab Israeli? You mean Palestinians? Like, well, we're Arab Israelis now, and we come from that. We're the same people. And I was like, wait, are you telling me you guys have like equal citizenship? So yeah, and this was the first guy who actually stamped my visa to come inside at the border. So I was like, okay, that completely changed my mind. That was the first time I said, okay, no apartheid here. Okay, that was like first thing, And everywhere I go, Israelis and Arabs are citizens. Everywhere I go, Israelis and Arabs are eating food and everything. Yes, there is a bit of like tension between the two because I see that Israelis are far more educated than the Arabs, and the Arabs' families don't actually send their kids to college. Most of them, especially the women. I realize that, and I see that they haven't lost their Islamic identity in that case, which is the degeneracy, and those who actually break away from that mold are allowed to break because there's nobody on top of them like a Islamic government that actually tells them that no, you're supposed to force your females into not going into universities, and that's why we see all these different Arab women who are actually serving in the military, serving as paramedics, serving in the army, and I've met IDF soldiers who are Arabs, males and females. Quite surprised, and I talked to them like in my own language in Arabic, and I said, what made you? Did you get any backlash from your family or extended family? Like, yes, we always do, but the thing is that they don't run the government, so we can do whatever we want. If we were in a Muslim, if this was Palestine right now, we couldn't be doing half the stuff that we're. I'm an engineer, and I'm studying, and I'm actually owning my own house, and my father can't tell me nothing about it, And I get to have a high quality man the way that I want to do it, rather than them actually, arranging my marriage. And I was like, fantastic. Only in Israel we could do that. No other place we could.
Because Israel, people don't realize that Arabs are literally in the Knesset. If you want to see the rights that Arabs have in Israel, you can turn on the fucking TV. You can go to YouTube and ask for Knesset recordings. It's like the British fucking House of Commons. They do it in fucking public. They argue and they make up all the time when the Arabs are interested in peace. If the Arabs are not interested in peace, do not even start. It is an algorithm. It is like fucking Monopoly. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And they show it every day on TV when people are retarded, like Michelle.
And then there was one eye-opening moment is because I had extended family members in Jenin, and I actually went to Jenin by myself, of course, not with the delegate. And one of my cousins got married in Jenin. And so I went there, and they would sit down, and we were eating. And
going to Jenin is easy. The hard part is coming back.
Yeah. And the thing is, this was done like what, 4 years ago. Anyways, but in any case, I went through the checkpoints and everything, and the the so we were watching Outputs TV in the living room, and we were talking about family and all that sort of stuff. And then I said, "What do you think about Israelis?" And I was like, and they would curse and all that sort of stuff and all that, blah 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 blah, curse 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 curse. And then I saw, and then he said, "Oh, by the way, my son is going to Israel tomorrow, and he can take you back to your place." I was like, "Hang on, what are you guys talking about?" And he said, "Well, they get a visa supposedly to actually go and to basically work." And I said, "You're complaining about the Israelis, and then you go and work with these guys? Like, what the actual, like, what's going on here? Like, what's like?" And I said, "How could you do this? I mean, aren't you guys seen as traitors?" Like, "Hey, it is what it is. But as soon as we can get out of the mold, then we'll do it. And in the meantime, we gotta find a way. So we're just trying to wait and bide our time until we find a way. And so we just spread the word secretly, and we say we want the destruction of Israel and all that sort of stuff." But and they quoted a very famous Islamic scholar, Abu Darda, which is, "We smile on their faces while our hearts curse them." And so we're just following the Sunnah in this regard, right? And so I was like, "You're fine." And then that's one of the reasons why I realized, okay, Islam makes you the most professional hypocrite that you can possibly imagine, right? And so when I was driving with my distant cousin to back to Israel, and I said, "Do you actually agree with everything your parents say?" I was like, "No, I'm an atheist." And I was like, "Hey, so am I." so I realized that the second generation are completely detached from their family members, and that's a good thing.
It's a good thing in cultures where the TFR is high. So this is why somebody kept bringing up Nigeria. Like in places like in Nigeria, like literally 15-year-olds have kids. So when you say second generation, that means like you could be age 45 and you could be a grandpa in Nigeria. I'm just saying, like when you say, you have to quantify that.
Yeah, I don't know what TFR is.
Total fertility rate.
Yeah, and the thing is, what's good is that the next generation are not buying this BS anymore in those regions. And so I get to see that all the time. But there are people who are, like, let's say, if they're going into the government system, those are the ones who always get radicalized. And the people don't distrust them completely because they know what that means. That means their suffering will continue, right? As long as you have one person who actually joins Fatah, so the PA, and they know that their oppression is alive and well. But the problem is they still have this idea, like the idea is not gone, that they want to conquer Israeli land. That still exists in their mind. But the idea of, let's say, that all Jews are the same in terms of that they need to be eliminated, I'd say probably it's half and half. In those territories, in the Judean Samaria area.
But I'm talking about Haifa. Can you explain Haifa? Haifa is where it is by definition mixed. Explain a simple one. Don't worry about the complex one.
Haifa's the same thing. Haifa's the same thing.
I've never been to these places, bro. I've never been to these places.
By the way, your Mount Carmel is absolutely beautiful. I didn't know there was a religion called the Baha'i Faith until I actually went there. So
It's only famous in India because of a vast temple called the Lotus Temple, and it's actually a criminal religion in the country of origin, Iran. It is a categorically criminal religion in the country of origin.
Yeah.
The Baha'i, you would only know about it if you are Indian, Israeli, or Iranian, because it is in the country for almost the most confusing reasons. You would have to be a theological scholar to know what.
I actually
So after that, I actually did study, and my goodness, what an amazing mission statement they have. I have not only 2 blocks away from me. There's a Baha'i center, and I go there every now and then for when they have they open their doors to the public, and of course I just take their food and run away. But hey, I still at least sit down and try to hear what they have to say. I love their mission statement. Their mission statement is blessed is he who takes pride. Blessed is not he who takes pride in his own country. Blessed is he who takes pride in all mankind. The earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens. That is a vision statement of theirs, and it's beautiful. I think it's fantastic. And
still you're Islamophobic. That doesn't make sense.
But I think it's very naive that the way that they approach things, very, very naive, and that's problematic in itself.
So Baha'i is known to be more criminal in Iran than Zoroastrianism, because Zoroastrians are not criminals. What I meant to say is Baha'is have the
let complete, please.
No, I'm just saying in an Islamic society that is of relevance, which is Iran in this case, not Israel, not India, they are considered by definition the naive of the two. The good of the two is actually Zoroastrianism in Iran. They only criminalize the Baha'i because they're even worse. They're naive. Iran exists to eliminate Zoroastrianism from its past because that is what the Prophet Muhammad would have wanted. But it cannot eliminate it first without first eliminating the Baha'i, because the Baha'i are so naive. It's like they're dealing with people like Bashar, retarded.
Andrew, are you religious? Andrew, are you religious? All religions are stupid, isn't it?
So what I was trying to say is that if you actually look at the Islamic world, the Baha'is anywhere that the Baha'is are, they're actually being persecuted. It's not just Iran. They're being persecuted in Afghanistan, UAE, Qatar. Qatar, they pretty much kicked them all out. Kuwait, they kicked them all out. Saudi Arabia, they kicked them all out. Yemen, they're being persecuted. There are a lot of prisoners there. Egypt, they tried persecuting them, but then the cops came into the rescue, or at least they were taken to court because they were trying to get rid of the religious cards where they have the names of each person's religion on it, and they were going to take away the other, which would have affected Egyptian Baha'is. So they took them to court, and it exploded from there. But Libya, there are no Baha'is there in Libya.